All right, everyone. Good day. This is former lead consultant, MAXIM-CONCEPTS consulting practice. We're still on governance issue across board, and so what we'll be discussing today will be discussing sustainability finance strategies for CFOs beyond traditional crisis management metrics. And so, what is traditional financial metrics? Traditional financial metrics are, the quantitative indicators used to measure a company's financial performances. E.g., you have things like revenue, you have things like net income, you have earnings per share, you have return on investment, return on equity, debt to equity ratio, and so on and so forth. And so sustainability finance is pointing to the fact that there are other parameters in measuring companies' performances which are more in terms of qualitative instead of the quantitative, which I just made mention of, the likes of revenue, EPS, return on investment, and the likes. And so even shareholders are to demand for for more transparency and accountability from companies. They are putting company under pressure to demonstrate their commitment to sustainability. And so for CFOs, this means that this means that they have to move beyond traditional financial metrics to incorporating ESG factors into their strategy. That is a combination of the quantitative aspect and the qualitative aspect. It has always been a show of having more of, it has always been a show of the quantitative aspect, more of quantitative aspect, but now striking a balance between both the quantitative aspect and the qualitative you know and the qualitative aspect. And those qualitative aspects in terms of regulatory compliance, those are qualitative aspects that will be used alongside with qualitative ones that we've always known that these are what the company use in measuring their performance. And so we have regulatory compliance. And so you find out that government regulatory bodies worldwide are introducing stricter ESG reporting requirements. And so CFOs must ensure that their companies complies with these regulations, which often requires a detailed disclosure of their environmental impact in that society where the company is operating in. The social responsibility, which is every company, most listed companies, most known companies, this is something they do, and it is being published. It is part of their report in the financial statement. The social responsibility, some of what the CSR, some of what they've done as far as the society where they find themselves there, that they are operating in, and the governance practices. And another one is investors' expectation. That is, investors now they are increasingly factoring ESG performance into their investment decision. Companies with strong ESG credentials are seen to have a lower risk and more likely to deliver sustainability return. And so CFOs are expected to CFO can now attract and retain investors who prioritize sustainability as one of what they require from the organization. That as far as I'm dealing with this organization, these are the things that I ought to be seeing. I'm saying that, okay, you have the qualitative aspect, you should also have the quantitative aspect that talks about other things that the company is doing, which are ESG factors, which should also be considered in alongside with the traditional metrics which we are used to. Another one is the aspect of risk management. That is ESG issues such as climate changes, resources scarcity, and social inequalities, which poses significant risk to business. And so CFOs must identify and manage these risks by incorporating ESG consideration into their risk assessment and mitigation strategy. And the last one is, value creation. Value creation, that is sustainability practice that can drive innovation, drive operational efficiency, drive brand loyalty. CFO must, these are the things that they must embed, that must be embedded into their sustainability, the sustainability strategy of the organization. And so that is all I have for us as far as, sustainability finance strategy for CFOs beyond traditional crisis management metric is concerned. Thank you.